Cool. Hi. It's me, Vicki Marie. Hi, Chumba. So, I don't know if this video is going to get recorded. My StreamYard has just gone a bit weirdy. Hang on. I don't think I can do it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can all hear me and see me, can't you, I think? Okay, so yeah, completely impromptu live. I think StreamYard's a bit annoyed with me, actually. Anyway, never mind. Don't want to know about that. Very impromptu live, this is. I've just keep reading more and more about Dan Wooton. Now, if you watch my channel, you will know that I've been meaning to do a video about Dan Wooton for ages and ages and ages. And I just haven't got around to it because we've been away. And then since I've come back, I've been trying to catch up on all the videos. And I've been holding off. And I just don't think I can hold off any longer. Oh, Jumba, is it just me or is he creepy? So let's have a look at a photo of him. I was looking at the photo that I picked. Look at this photo. I mean, you can see that, can't you? Yeah. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. I mean, he's dark, isn't he? Hi, Cuba Lakeland. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, but there's someone's protecting this guy. I'm sorry, there's something very deep here. In my opinion, there's something very, very deep. This guy is accused of taking videos, isn't he, and things like that of people. Who has he got things on? How many people has he got something on? Because what sort of gets me about this case is, well, this case, can't even call it a case, it's all allegations, but the mainstream media is not interested in it at all. It's not even mentioning it. Now, do you remember about Philip Schofield? You remember about Hugh Edwards, how it was all over the news? And Dan Wooton himself, he was the worst one on GB News. You know, he was all over Philip Schofield, and it was every night. He was interviewing Eamon Holmes. He was bringing Kerry Katona on, anyone who ever did. And don't get wrong, I don't even like Philip Schofield. I'm not trying to defend him. But it's just what Dan Wooton was doing to blacken Philip Schofield's name. And he was loving it. He was reveling in it. And now... no, Tracy, there is evidence. Have you seen the latest thing that's come out tonight? Have you seen the latest thing? Do you really believe that this is not true or there's no truth in it? So I'm going to show you the Byline Times, which is the... it's not just about a malicious ex. I don't think you've looked at, with respect, I don't think you've looked into it enough. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to look into it. It's not just a malicious ex. It's far worse than that. There are so many allegations. And now, today, more allegations. That's what's prompted me to make this video. Because this guy, he is a predator. In my opinion, he's a predator. Now, nothing's been proven, but what I'd like to know is why they were hounded. And now he started a GoFundMe or a crowdfunding page for his legal expenses. Don't forget that the Daily Mail have suspended him. The Daily Mail have suspended him until they make an investigation. There's definitely something in this. Hi, Shelley. Yes, no David tonight. No David tonight. So, I'm not really sure why you say that, Tracy. Do you like Dan then? I take it you like him. I'm so sorry about that. So let's just, please press a like or a dislike, because I don't think Joanne, not Joanne. I don't think Tracy going to like this video. Just saying that. So that's okay. Give it an unlike. but you're definitely not going to like it unless you want to actually learn something. So let's just learn a little bit about. Now, I did the first time I knew anything about Dan Wooton, because I don't really watch. He's been like News of the World, all these salubrious newspapers that he's been involved with. He's a gossiper, isn't he? He's like his profession is gossip. He was horrible to most people. That he's horrible to Meghan Markle. Now, whatever you think of Meghan Markle, he's got like this obsession with her. He's one of those Piers Morgan type things. It's like all they ever talk about is if nothing else matters. He's definitely on the side of Prince William. And there's rumours about Prince William. He never talks about the rumours about Prince William, does he? I've heard some even more rumours about Prince William over the last couple of days, which I'm not going to mention on here because people will get upset, because a lot of people like him. But personally, I'd much rather have Meghan Markle and Harry. And I don't really like them, but I don't even like the royal family. I don't believe in the royal family. I'm a Republican. But if I had to choose one of them, or one side to go on, it wouldn't be on William and Kate's side. So I know that's quite divisive to a lot of people, but that's just the way I feel. So let's just hear a little bit. I'm going to read it. This is literally off Wikipedia, hands up. I'm just going to read because I don't know that much about him and his background. I know that he was born in New Zealand. He's 40 years old. He was born on the 2nd of March, 1983. And, he's been on all this, his career, isn't it? Look, it's Daybreak, Lorraine, Big Brother's bit on the side, GB News. Do you know what I mean? To me, that's the Daily Mail. He's not exactly what you would call a serious journalist, is he? He trades in gossip. He trades in gossip, nastiness. Caroline Flack, he hounded. He hounds everyone. And now he doesn't like it when it's on the other side, does he? But he's actually not being hounded by the mainstream media, not like the mainstream media hounded Hugh Edwards and Philip Schofield, and he hounded them. So why is he being protected? I think he is being protected. I think he's got friends in high places, and when I say that, I mean in the royal family. I think people like him and Piers Morgan, etc., and this hatred that they have towards Meghan Markle, etc. It's all to do with sides that they're taking, and now he's being protected. And also, he's got a lot of videos. So something else has come out today, and that is, let me just read what Wikipedia says about it. So in July 2023, allegations were published in the Byline Times, which is like an online magazine. I'll go into that and tell you a bit more about them, of inappropriate and criminal conduct against Wooton, including catfishing former colleagues. So it's not all just like a bit of spite from his ex-boyfriend. That's just not true at all. He was catfishing former colleagues, overseeing a culture of sexual harassment while he was working at The Sun, and orchestrating. This is what I think is relevant. This is why I think he's being protected. I think he's got videos. I think he's got videos of people orchestrating non-consensual voyeurism of victims using male pornographic actors paid with misappropriated funds. Wooton said that all criminal allegations were untrue, of course. He is the victim of a smear campaign. However, in early August, the Mail Online confirmed it has paused his freelance column with the website pending its own investigation. So, but he's still on GB News, isn't he? And he was bleating how innocent he was and all this. Right, sorry, I've missed people to say hello to. Hi, Bad Fairy. Hi, Tina. Hi, Sky. I think he has got dirt on other people. Hi, Shelley. I don't know if you know about Dan Wooton, because I know you're in Canada, but he's from New Zealand. I don't know if you know anything about him or not. Let me just make sure I've said hello to everybody. Yes, please put the thumbs up if you don't mind. So, something I want to say before I carry on. I want to say thank you to all my new members, because a lot of people have joined recently. We had a good time on the members live stream last night doing the tarot cards, etc. I may release that to public. I haven't decided yet, but it was so nice, wasn't it, to be on there and we could all just talk without worrying. And thank you for that. So thank you so much for everyone who's become a member, everyone who sent me a Ko-fi. I'm going to change the banner. So the Ko-fi sign, you can buy me a Ko-fi if you enjoy my content. You can join the channel, you can send a super chat, but the most thing that you can do is press like and watch the videos. Okay, so yeah. Oh, thank you, Joanne. So what do you think? Do you think what do you think? Those of you out there, do you like Dan Wooton? Do you think he is just like a nasty piece of work? I mean, to me, he's a nasty piece of work anyway. But this now that's coming out means he's an even nastier piece of work than I ever thought he was. So, as I say, I didn't really know anything about him. But the first time he really came to my attention was, all this going on about Meghan Markle left, right and centre. And okay, you don't like her, that's fine. Maybe a lot of people don't like her, but this obsession, same with Piers Morgan. I used to have a lot of respect for Piers Morgan, but it's like this creepy middle-aged man obsessing over Meghan Markle because she, I don't know, didn't answer his texts or whatever. And also he's very chummy with Camilla and all that. Camilla's got a lot to do with things, in my opinion. Anyway, so, but the first time that Dan Wooton really did come to my attention was at the Queen's funeral. Now, I don't know if you saw it, but and I've been trying to find it online and I can't find it. He posted a video on his Twitter or Instagram or one of his social media accounts, like of him laying flowers and mark of respect and all this. But then somebody else posted a video that showed how he'd orchestrated that video. He'd taken many, many different shots, like to get it exactly right. And it wasn't as spontaneous and as natural as he'd made it look. It was just posturing. He's a posturer, Hi, Rio. Yeah, it was Dirty Dan, yeah. Hi, Ruth. Well, hopefully we can cheer you up by talking about Dirty Dan Wooton. Hi, Tina. Did I say hi, Kate from the Cook Islands? Yeah. So, hi, Ruth. I don't know that. Hi, Princess. You found, yeah. So this was literally just. I've been, doing classes all day, and then I just went off, had a shower. This is actually really my nightie. It's not a nightie, but it's my sort of getting ready to go to bed. And then I read this that I'm going to read out to you tonight, and I just thought I've got to do this. Did you see those stage photos, Joe H? So I'm not imagining it, am I? But I couldn't find them online. I've been looking for them. For a while, actually, because I've been planning a video about Dan Wooton. I was looking for those photos. I can't find them, but anyway. And then, of course, he was all over the Philip Schofield thing, interviewing Eamon, interviewing Kerry Katona, who normally he probably wouldn't have a good word to say about Kerry Katona, because Dan Wooton's one of those people, he hasn't got a good word to say about anyone. He's nasty. He's nasty, he's a gossip, he's horrible. And now he's getting a taste of his own medicine. And it seems like he's been doing much worse things than either Philip Schofield and Hugh Edwards. I mean, at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, I don't like either of them. What I don't like about them especially is that they were living a lie in their life. I mean, at least Dan Wooton, he is openly gay, isn't he? So he's not pretending to be Mr. Perfect with the wife and the 5 children, and then in the background going off and sort of looking for young men or boys even. But I'm not saying Dan Wooton has looked for boys. I'm not saying that. I don't think any of the rumours about him are underage things. It's the voyeurism and the taking videos without people's consent, etc. And yeah, he's horrible, you know, in my eyes anyway, and his eyes say it all. So these are the rumours about him, and they are rumours, but there's a lot. But my question is, why are the mainstream media not looking into it more? You know, when you think what they did, I think he's either got protection, powerful protection, or he's got things on people like videos, etc. I've heard some rumours that he may have videos about very, very important people. Depends what you think of as important. But if you think the royal family are important, then the rumours that are going around is they may have videos about the royal family. So Ruth, Kate and William, you know, that's a whole rabbit hole to go down. William, I'm like, I can't say anything, but he's not a nice person either. Hi, old bud. Hi, old bud. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these rumours. So this publication, if you like, online publication, the Byline Times, they're the ones that are trying to expose him. I'm surprised why have they not been libelled? Why have they not been taken to court? Because they are making all these allegations openly. So I just want to make clear, I am just reading what the Byline Times says. I'm not saying that he's done any of these things. What I'm saying is this is what people are saying that he has done. So this is this came out today, I believe, and this is the 8th part of a 3-year special investigation into the private and professional conduct of GB News star Dan Wooton. And Byline Times uncovers how the powerful journalist used the pretext of underwear modelling to target young reality TV personalities. Here, for the first time, these people in the public eye speak out. So this was literally today, the 9th of August. Now, will this even get mentioned on the mainstream media? There is and you know, they're saying there's a crisis in British journalism, and I agree. I think British journalism, the news now, it's like watching, you know, Moscow news or Russia, or what we say Russian news are like. Propaganda, complete and utter propaganda. You cannot believe anything you see or read. It's like there's a narrative. There's everybody who's on the outskirts, who's been in the mainstream media and has come out of it. There's lots of people like Katie Hopkins, who, as I say, I don't agree with her with so many things, but I do agree with her on that. Sonia Poulton, lots of people that have just been turfed out by the mainstream media because they won't follow the narrative that they're supposed to follow. It's not a genuine, you know, it's not genuinely investigative like it used to be. It's who you know, not what you've done, that counts in Britain. It's who you know, who's going to protect you. And that's my question, who's protecting Dan Wooton? Because somebody is. So let's have a read what they have to say. Let me just check that you can see it. So this is today's, but you know, I've just subscribe to them. It's free to subscribe to them, so you get their you get their newsletters, etc., and you get and this is just today's, so there's lots of other articles that they've done right from the beginning. So let's just read today's. So Dan Wooton met young male reality TV stars through his work as a prominent showbiz journalist, and then he privately propositioned them to do photo shoots. Now, this may not be true, but do you know what? They've got a lot of cojones if they're going to go openly on social media and say these things. Do you really think they would be saying these things if they weren't true? Would they take that chance on being, put in prison for libel, like someone mentioned earlier? Would they take that chance unless they really believed or had evidence that these things were true? And then Dan Wooton started up a crowd fund to, God, who would put money into that? I might have to have a look at that actually and see how much money he's got in that, if you can look at it openly. Who would pay for Dan Wooton's legal fees? I mean, for goodness sake. Anyway, that's another scam by him. Yeah, he's not a nice person. I always felt it, and you know what? I'm 100. Well, I can't say 100%. I say 99% of the time I'm right. If I don't like someone, I don't like people for no reason. He gives off that aura of. There was a time when. Anyway, never mind. Okay, so amongst those that Wooton targeted over an 8-year period between 2011 and 2019, during which he was working for The Sun, ITV and the Daily Mail, were the Only Way is Essex star Kurt Norcross. Now, let's bear in mind that these people, Kurt Norcross, I don't know any of these people because the only one of these that I've ever really watched is X Factor, Big Celebrity, Big Brother sometimes. But anyway, I'm digressing. So these were his victims. The Only Way is Essex star Kurt Norcross, Big Brother contestant JJ Bird, and an X Factor singer who was just out of his teens. Each had first encountered Wooton, today a star presenter on GB News, as a result of their involvement in the television industry, on which it was his highly paid job to report and through which he enjoyed a powerful media influence. Now, I think, we've had Philip Schofield, Hugh Edwards. I think there's many, many more. TV world, either BBC or ITV. I think it's probably rife right through it, and I hope that all these things now that are coming out are going to show it up for what it is. I think the X Factor, I stopped watching the X Factor in the end because I felt like there were things going on there. Simon Cowell, I've got my thoughts about him, and I have had for years. I think these kind of things, because people want to be famous. Young people are totally blindsided by the idea of being famous these days. This is something that has happened in Britain, and not only in Britain, in other countries. Kids don't say, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a vet, or I want to be a plumber, or I want to be an electrician or a train driver. They want to be famous. They want to be on X Factor. They want to win Britain's Got Talent or something like that, and it's all so contrived. It's horrible, actually. These reality TV shows have taken over, not only in Britain, but in other countries, because they're cheap for a start, because they're not as expensive as making a high-class drama or, something like that. Big Brother, people go in there, only one person wins the money. you know, so they're cheap ways, and they've sort of, you know, and I'm as guilty of it because a guilty pleasure I did have years ago was Jeremy Kyle. You know, I used to, I'm guilty of it as anyone of watching these reality shows, which really, when you think about it, they're awful. Anyway, sorry, a little rant there. So, Wooton was on his first day as editor-at-large at the Daily Mail in December 2011 when he approached Big Brother Series 11 contestant JJ Bird, then 25, and who is today a boxing trainer, also having been a pro fighter. Mr. Bird, who refused Wooton's offers, is amongst the first group of people in the public eye to discuss their interactions with Wooton. He told Byline Times, Dan told me he was an amateur photographer and was working with underwear brands. Gosh, that's a coincidence, isn't it? He invited me to a test shoot at his flat with a fee attached. Well, so there you go. You've got someone who wants to be famous, who's got no money probably, and is being offered a photo shoot with a fee. You know, it's a no-brainer for them, is it? It's so easy to be predatory on young people like that. At the time, I was trying to fund my boxing career and develop my career in entertainment. Dan was a big name in the world of showbiz journalism who had the power to do that. It's all about power. Plus, anything where I was going to receive payment would obviously have been very useful. Looking back now, it was a complete abuse of his power and position, and he should not have been offering to do that sort of thing. Now, the thing that's happening now, I think, you know, people say, oh, why didn't you come out before? You know, but people don't because they're terrified to, but sometimes it takes one person to come out and then other people. That's what happened with Hugh Edwards. You know, you're talking about a guy who's like a household name, who won an award for commenting on the Queen's funeral. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for ITV because they're never going to be able to show footage of the Queen's funeral with any commentary from Hugh on it. So they're going to have to cut him out of everything. You know, so they've, you know, they've got this bloody fantastic footage that they apparently won an award for, and now they've got to vanish Hugh Edwards out of it because Hugh Edwards, at the end of the day, he was a predator. The people, you know, he's a 60-year-old man. Could you imagine? I'm 60. If I was like preying on 20-year-old men or women, because same sex, of course, that he was doing, you know, getting them could you imagine the uproar? So why do you know? Because we're not supposed to get RC with, you know, like nobody else has, sort of thing. And the same with Philip Schofield. You're talking about really massive age differences, not just 10 years, not just 16 years, not even just 20 years. You talk about 40-year age differences. If you think about if you've got children and that was your son, your daughter, would you really want them to be sending scantily dressed photos to those kind of men? Anyway, so my issue really with Hugh and Phil is nothing to do with them being gay. I couldn't give a shit if they're gay or not. What I do give a shit about is the fact that they're pretending they're not. And then Hugh Edwards has the temerity to say, or is it through his wife, you know, he's been suffering from mental illness. I didn't know homosexuality was a mental illness. I thought it was a natural condition that some people, you know, it's just somebody's sexuality. So to refer to it as a mental illness, which really is what he's saying, is even more disgusting in my eyes. So, but you can imagine these young men. They, you know, now this guy, Mr. Bird, he's not gay. I think if he would have been gay, he probably would have gone. But he's not gay, so he's like, he doesn't want to go. He probably felt uncomfortable going to Dan Wooton's flat. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't go in the end. But anyway, apparently Mr. Wooton contacted him first on Facebook, claiming there's one person I'm working for at the moment who's really keen to get you for work. And in later messages, Wooton changed it to 2 people I'm working with, adding it's just a test shoot, so low key, not for publication. Will pay, obviously. Just due in various sportswear, swimwear, underwear, which I'll run by the man I'm working for. So also, I don't know if you know, but there are 2 aliases that Dan Wooton supposedly has catfished people with different names, not his own name. Actually, I think there might be 3 because one of them was a woman. So just doing various sportswear, swimwear, underwear, which I'll run by the man I'm working for before he decides how to do a full shoot, which could be for publication. Just to be certain, could you text or email me a quick shot of you shirtless now? But I'm pretty sure we'll want to go ahead now because we don't necessarily need you mega ripped anyway. So he's getting off on the power, on the manipulation. This boy, man, could be anyone, because what Dan Wooton is getting off on is the fact of getting him to do something. Now, we can see on the 3rd of August, this was the Martin Branning, this is the alias. Oh my goodness, I need to go into this so much more because I've only just actually found this byline Times online. So I would advise you to subscribe. If you're interested, subscribe and see what they've got to say. Let me just go and make sure everyone's all right. Probably some people. Let's have a look. Who's Mick Norcross? Who's deleted him? Who is Mick Norcross? So Kirk. So who deleted himself, Kirk or the father? Hi, Jackie. Oh, I can't go back so far. Hi, David. Yeah. Well, I am going to, thank you, Ruth. I am going to talk about Kate and William. If you know, I know what I think, I think their marriage is a total sham, personally, because, hi, Viva Lola. Right, the father. Oh, how sad. Hi. That's right, Sky. One of his aliases, Maria Joseph, is a woman. It's all going to come out. It's going to come out, but how will it come out? Will he take other people with him? Anyway, let's go back. Sorry, so I'll just come back to make sure you're all right. I think you are all right. So Wooton followed up saying the shoot would be at mine in E1, adding that they also want to know if you will do a couple of nude shots too. They also want to know if you'll do a couple of nude shots too, because they do a lot of that. Or just trying to find out if you do it, and that they don't necessarily need your face in. Oh God, he's revolting, this man. Mr. Bird declined. Good for you, Mr. Bird. And told by Line Times I wasn't having any of that. But some people will have gone along with it, won't they? During their interactions, Wooton gave Mr. Bird his personal email address, the same email address he uses to this day. And last week, this newspaper revealed that a password connected to that address had been publicly exposed in a 2018 data breach and was identical to passwords revealed in the same breach connected to the emails of Martin Branning and Maria Joseph. 2 pseudonyms used to harass men to supply sexual imagery. At least one victim claimed to have been coercively controlled by Branning for 10 years. As a result, 10 years. Goodness me. So Wooton was the Sun's associate editor in 2016 when he approached the X Factor singer, who was asked not to be named, wonder who it is, to pose for a photo shoot at his home, which Wooton claimed he had done with a number of well-known celebrities. The celebrity singer said, "I was there to do a promotional thing with the paper. Dan Wooton was a big deal. Everyone knew he was the most powerful journalist in showbiz. I obviously said no, and I didn't ask which celebrities he was referring to, having also claimed to have photographed at his home, as I wasn't vaguely interested in getting involved. I felt weird because every prior engagement had been on a professional basis for the newspaper. I remember thinking, why would that benefit me and what would I get from that?" Now, I want to make you think a little bit about X Factor and the winners of X Factor. And anytime a man has ever won X Factor, there's always been, well, apart from sort of, there was, who was that one that won that year? And he sang, so I love James Arthur, he's my favourite singer that came out of X Factor. And he sang, what was that guy called? Dancy, the black guy. I don't know, but he disappeared without trace. They always disappear without trace. I think the X Factor whole thing, and Sharon Osbourne said a little bit about it at one point when she'd fallen out with Simon Cowell about what a horrible environment it was. And I think it is a horrible environment. I think there's all sorts of things, probably went on there, like with Jedward and Louis, and anyway. That's just my opinion. It's all for entertainment, folks, but just my opinion. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying how it felt to me. So another celebrity, whom Byline Times is not identifying, did accept Wooton's offer. He said, "Dan invited me to do a test shoot for some underwear brand for £1,000. I went along thinking it was a semi-pro shoot and might help my career because Dan was, at the time, on ITV's Lorraine show and working for the biggest papers." No, I can't stand Lorraine either. I'm sorry. She's just a gossip. She's nasty too. She says, "Oh, she's all nice, so sweet." But really, she's not nice. They're all just gossips, nasty. They don't even care about each other. It's like this atmosphere. When I watch, it's so false. The whole thing is completely false. The studio was just like his front room. It felt really awkward, especially as he was so well known. There was nobody else there, just us. There was no backdrop or anything like that. Sorry, I just got this feeling of Desperate Dan. Despite Desperate Dan, no, it doesn't say that, telling me it was a shoot for these brands, he just gave me the normal boxer shorts to wear and I changed into them in his bedroom. I thought it was all strange but rolled with it. He was so influential that I didn't want to offend him somehow. So this is just like the Harvey, whatever is it, I want to say Epstein, but that's the other guy, Wernstein or whatever his name is. It's just like that, isn't it? Then the stuff he was asking me to wear became more and more revealing and alarm bells started to ring. He brought out latex stuff, which I refused to wear. He also asked me to post nude, but I refused to do that too. The whole situation was weird and not what I was expecting. Dan refused to pay me the full fee. We'd agreed because I wouldn't go nude. It creeped me out. Okay, in a third case, Dan Wooton approached The Only Way is Essex. So I've never watched The Only Way is Essex. I can see that a lot of you know more about it than me. I'm very sorry to hear that his father did what he did, but I don't know who this guy is. But anyway, he approached The Only Way is Essex star Kurt Norcross on his own personal number via WhatsApp, this time on the 7th of September 2019. And then again on the 10th of September 2019 at 2 a.m. following the TV Choice Awards, which Wooton attended on behalf of the Sun. It would be weird for anyone to be messaging me at that time of the morning, but for Dan to be doing it to discuss modelling shots was extra weird, said Mr. Norcross, who appeared in Towie between 2010 and 2013, as well as Celebrity Big Brother in 2012. Well, surprisingly, I did quite like Celebrity Big Brother, but to be honest, I can't even remember the last time I watched anything like that. And X on the Beach in 2015. Again, Wooton's approach, using his customary greeting of "Hey man," was to make a modelling proposition. Do you know, it's like the oldest trick in the book, isn't it? Which Mr. Norcross declined. Following the publication of the first part of this newspaper's special investigation, Wooton reached out to Mr. Norcross last month to ask him to contribute to a crowd fund, which has stalled at 38,000 on the way to the £150,000. Now I'm just going to see if I can find it. Right, apparently it's got stuck on 25% of its total, apparently. Oh gosh, it's I can't find the actual. Anyway, I can't find the actual what Pink News has got to. I mean, I don't know, what do people, in the know, sometimes people who if you're gay and you may have heard something about this in the pipeline and everything, let me know, because I'd be interested. I don't know if it's true or not. These are allegations by the Byline Times, but you've got to think, why would they be doing it? But isn't it interesting that they're stuck at sorry, I'm going back to that. Isn't it interesting that they're stuck on fund was stuck on as well? Hi, Claire. Yeah, Joe H. I can imagine that he'd be nasty about Danny Dyer and the family. Oh, he's nasty about a lot. He gets his people. He's like Piers Morgan. There's his people that he likes. There's his people that he doesn't like. And the ones he doesn't like, just constant slagging off, isn't it? I notice with Piers Morgan, he likes Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's always saying positive things about him. But anyone he doesn't like, it's just constant. Hi, Lynn. I've got mixed feelings about her, and I just think she's false. It's the falseness for me. That's all I can say. It feels false. She feels false to me. So, yeah, everything. So I can't be doing with that. Now, there's a couple of times, it's like Holly Willoughby or any of them that I don't like false people. I just don't like false people. I can't. I'd rather have a nasty person that was just being themselves, but that was their real selves and they spoke the truth, than someone just pretending to be nice all the time. So yeah, Weinstein, that's it, Weinstein. Our Bud hates Lorraine as well. So Jackie Taylor, he is still on air on GB News every night, but his Daily Mail column has been suspended pending an investigation. You know how we have to wait for the results of investigations. Anyway, so I'm not going to read any, you know, that does go on a little bit more, but I think we've got, let me just read this, because actually this is important. So he reached out to this Mr. Norcross to ask him to contribute to his crowd fund. It's stalled at 38,000, same as Paul Ansell's crowd fund, and the £150,000 is asking for his legal fees to apparently finance legal action against Byline Times after it unmasked him as Martin Brannan and Maria Joseph. Well, the Byline Times are carrying on. They're not scared, obviously. To me, he's asking for that money. He's going to take that money. He's going to piss off back to New Zealand and just do a legger. That's what he's doing. So, can you imagine the audacity of asking someone you've targeted in this way to help fund your legal fees? Mr. Norcross said. It was so desperate, Dan. I would encourage anyone who has had an inappropriate interaction with Dan Wooton to come forward and share their story so we can get to know the true scale of these activities. Byline Times has uncovered other non-celebrity incidents in which Wooton relied upon the financial power afforded by his profession to enable extremely inappropriate behaviour. So, in an example from 25th of April 2018, he booked a home visit via a reputable agency for a sports massage from a 21-year-old male trainee osteopath. During the visit, the masseurs, a straight man whose photo was advertised on the agency's website, revealed to Wooton that he was struggling financially to pay his rent in London. Well, anyone would be struggling financially to try and pay the rent in London, wouldn't they? 4 minutes after leaving his address, he received a text message from Wooton, but not from Wooton's own mobile phone number. Instead, the messages seemed to come from a number with a landline code for Royston, Hertfordshire. The opening message read, "Hey man," so this is obviously his opening greeting. "Oh, thank you so much for that. You know, you just said then redouble rent, etc. Didn't want to ask you while still here in case you were not interested. But could I potentially get you for some type of extra now? I have a £1,000 budget, so very good money. Let me know before you go too far. Thanks." When the masseurs said no, stressing that his visit was strictly professional, Wooton persisted by offering modelling work outside of massage, this time for £2,000 on the basis it would be totally confidential and between us only and my video camera. No, I've added that. With the offer of immediate payment in return for posing for a nude photo shoot. The masseurs, speaking on condition of anonymity, said most kind people would feel sympathy for my situation, but Dan used it as a tactic to try and get me to do something extremely inappropriate. I felt shocked and uneasy. He added that he felt deliberately targeted by Wooton because of his looks. The masseur added that during the client rapport building process, Wooton spoke about his own job, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, I don't know if if these things are true, but there seems to be quite a lot of them, doesn't there? I mean, I always think they're more likely to be true when there's a lot of them. Hi, Heather. Chumba, I've always said for years Simon Cowell is gay. My friends go mad. They're like, oh, no, why do you say that? Well, he is. He's definitely gay, in my opinion. Okay. So, hi, Desi. So, Joe H, yes, there's another super injunction going around about another BBC presenter who's been arrested twice I've read that. I've seen that, but I can't find it. There must be a super injunction there because I can't find anything on Twitter. Normally, like with Hugh Edwards, even though people weren't talking about it openly, but it was all on Twitter and buzzing around. That's not, but I can't find anything on that. So everyone is too frightened to say anything there. But again, who are these people being protected by? He is, David. He is definitely gay. Definitely. But we'll find out one day. We know what we'll find out. So he's not gay like Freddie Mercury wasn't gay. Freddie Mercury didn't declare that he was gay until the night before he died. I don't think Simon will ever admit that he is because it ruins his sort of, his image. Like he's always had that image of a thing. But I think, listen, I could go on and on. But, I know he's married now. He's got a son, but we know it means nothing. Philip Schofield, married, children. Hugh Edwards, married, 5 children. These are people, they don't want to be themselves, or they probably came from an era when you couldn't be yourself. Now you can be yourself. It's the time that they should perhaps come out. But anyway, that's my opinion. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, I agree. The BBC is terrible, I think. Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything either, David. Doesn't mean anything. Honestly, it doesn't. He might be bisexual. I know he went out with Sunita. But anyway. Oh. So, there you go. That's what I wanted to present to you today. What the latest accusation, if you like, is about Dan Wooton. I don't know what you think or believe. All I think is this Byline Times would not be saying all these things if they were worried that they were going to get sued. And Dan Wooton doing a crowdfunding for his legal fees, to me, I think he's just trying to get money together to do a run back to New Zealand, to be honest, or somewhere. That's my opinion. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. Now, please subscribe to the Byline Times. I've subscribed to them. I'm going to read through all the other articles. I've missed a lot of other articles. I'll tell you why I thought about it, Dave, because remember when Louis used to be on the X Factor, and I know from a documentary that I read about Freddie Mercury that in these sort of circles that they're moving, they give each other names, and Simon always used to call Louis Lulu. And that because that was his name in those sort of circles. Oh. I know George Michael. Well, poor George Michael. He had a very tragic life, didn't he? George Michael. He was another one who just couldn't be what he wanted, what he was. But he was eventually. But it didn't seem to, I don't know, didn't seem to make his life any happier, did it, when he came out? But people loved him anyway. The thing is, when even in those dark days, dark distant days, when I was young, we didn't care if people were gay or not. We absolutely did not care. Like Boy George, etc. I come from the era of the New Romantics. There was Human League, and everyone was wearing makeup. These young people these days, sometimes I think they invented it. But although the men were wearing makeup and painting the nails and doing whatever, there was a lot of that then. But he did. He used to call him Lulu because he moved in those circles with him, I think. There was all these, with the X Factor in the end, there was all these in-jokes going on, like... like jokes that they were having between themselves, and they were all having a good time, and we were like the thick public just sort of phoning up and, you know, spending money on phone calls, voting and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I did enjoy X Factor, but it just got so ridiculous in the end. It was like so contrived. Everything's contrived, isn't it? The music and the this, and you know, it's all just staged, and you know, I don't know. I just got sort of. There was a time when I really did enjoy watching it, but I've never watched it since James Arthur won it, which I really liked James Arthur, but the way they treated him. But of course, you know, he did make a comeback in that in the end, but he's the best thing that ever came out of it in my eyes. What's the crack through the time? Sorry. So, thank you, Jackie. Yes, please like. I'm going to... yeah, I know when I start getting tired, you can always tell when I'm getting tired because I start just getting totally distracted to the chat. And I know it's nice to, thank you, Shelley, for agreeing with me. It's nice to read the chat and make comments, but I know when I'm getting tired because I start sort of reading it, it's almost as if I wish that I could just sort of join in the chat and then sit back and watch it. Yes, I love James Arthur as well. Rock Hudson, Kate. Well, he's exactly a typical example of a heartthrob. Well, I'm probably going to upset Luke because you know someone else who I thought might be. I can't remember his name, so I'm not going to upset anyone. What was his name? Who's a really big American heartthrob that didn't get married till very late? I think he's gay as well. You know, but the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is nobody cares. I don't care if somebody's gay or they're not gay or whatever they are. I don't care as long as they're a nice person. I don't like, it's like when they started talking about homophobia to do with Philip Schofield, and that's nothing to do with homophobia, why people were annoyed with him. People were annoyed with him because he's a liar and because he's probably groomed a young boy. You know, it's nothing. It could have been a young boy, it could have been a young girl. It's nothing to do with homophobia. He then played the card of, I know how Carolyn Flack felt. You know, all that. That's why I don't like him, not because of him being gay. Same with Hugh Edwards. I couldn't give a shit what his sexuality is. But what annoys me when he sat up there all prissy, like being Mr. Perfect, and telling everyone, you know, putting on this appearance of Mr. Perfect, that go visiting churches and is married with his 5 kids, and then in the meantime he's doing all those things. That's what I don't like. Yes, exactly, Lisa. Schofield, he tried to use Caroline Flack. Oh, it's 4:11. 4:11 always arrives a little bit late. I'm always going when you're just going. When you're just arriving, I'm always just going. She was on a flight and she knew he liked men and he knitted for the whole journey. Aye. Oh dear. Well, I love gay men actually because they are good fun. Because you know, men. I mean, I contrary to what some people might think, I actually really like men's company. But sometimes it is nice with a gay man because you haven't got the, you know. I think most women will agree they like going out in sort of gay clubs and things like that because they can relax. They're not going to get any hassle from anybody, you know. And I might not, you know, I could go in a normal club and no men who might be interested. But there's times when I'm not interested. There's times when I'd probably quite like a man to come up and chat to me or whatever. But if you just want a night out where you don't have to worry that someone's going to be hitting on you or whatever, then obviously it's quite nice to go to a gay club. And it's always good music. Right, okay, I'm definitely going because I wasn't even supposed to be doing this. My voice is going, as you can hear. I've probably upset quite a lot of people in the beginning, but this is what I think. This is what I think. I think Dan Wooton is not a nice person whatsoever, and I think these allegations are probably true, but that's not what I'm saying. That's what the byline, allegedly. So this video is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not saying, but you know what? If I was Dan Wooton would be here really tearing apart Meghan Markle, Philip Schofield, or Caroline Flack, or whoever he was talking about. He'd be here savaging them. And I'm trying to be polite and say, well, allegedly, because I'm not quite as nasty as Dan Wooton. But I do like to see nasty people get their comeuppance. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, well. Yeah. Oh, God, look at my hair. Look at my hair. Okay, I'm going. So thank you for being here. Please press the likes on your way out if you haven't pressed them on the way in, which you probably have. Thanks for watching, and let's see. Hi, Desi. Let's see what happens, what transpires. Yes, we've got more. Joe H going to do more tarot cards, but that'll be probably on a Tuesday night. I'm thinking of making maybe Tuesday night a regular thing. Oh, 411's tired. Oh, you need to get a good night's sleep, 411. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, I know I end up lingering and then I'm reading the chat and that, but I definitely am good. So remember to always live and love very wisely. Don't go for a photo shoot with Dan Wooton and let him, take your clothes off and let him take pictures of you. That is not a good idea, because I bet he's got so many videos. I heard a rumor that he's got a video of someone quite, well known, and that's why he's being protected, but who knows. Okay, so remember to always live and love very wisely, very carefully. Look after you. You are the most important person. Until I see you again, may your God always go with you. Thank you so much.